I had one chance to stop my brother from making a huge mistake, and I took it. I hadn't seen my family in years after I came out. The distance between us grew wider, and eventually I just stopped trying. They weren't outright cruel, but the disappointment in their eyes was enough to push me away. So I left, moved to another city, started fresh, built a life where I didn't have to explain or justify who I was. The only reason I came back was because my brother Jake called. He was excited to tell me he was getting married. He wanted me to be there. I agreed mostly for him, then he told me who he was marrying. My stomach dropped. I recognized her name immediately. Madison, the girl who made my high school years unbearable. She wasn't just a mean girl. She was calculated, cruel, relentless. She made sure I was the school's favorite punchline. She started a rumor that I had kissed my best friend. That was bad enough in our conservative town, but then she took it further. She told people I had been caught hooking up in a locker room. People spray-painted slurs on my locker. Teachers looked at me differently. My so-called friends stopped talking to me overnight. When I tried to defend myself, Madison sweetly insisted she'd only repeated what she heard. Then it got worse. She stole my clothes from the gym locker room, left me to walk the halls in just my sports bra and shorts. She tripped me in front of my crush, dumped a milkshake over my head in front of half the school, and worst of all, she made sure every humiliating moment was filmed and spread online. And now she was about to become my sister-in-law. I tried to tell my brother. He brushed it off. High school was years ago. People change. I told him she tormented me. He told me to grow up. It couldn't have been that bad. He was away at college for my high school years. I knew he wasn't going to listen. He never did back then, so I decided to show him. I dug through old boxes my mom had saved, found a flash drive with multiple videos. Madison herself had given it to me, as a reminder that I would always be a loser. One clip showed Madison pretending to trip and spilling food all over me, then loudly calling me disgusting. Another clip of her sneaking behind me in the hallway, untying my skirt and yanking it down in front of a crowd. The worst one was her shoving me into the janitor's closet, locking the door while I sobbed, begging to be let out. I remember being stuck in there overnight. I watched it over and over, my hands gripping the mouse so tight my knuckles turned white. I had my proof, and I knew exactly when to use it. The wedding was extravagant, hundreds of guests, a breathtaking venue, a ceremony straight out of a fairy tale. Madison walked down the aisle in a designer gown, looking like the picture of perfection, completely secure in her fantasy, but I knew the truth. When it was time for the reception, my mom played a sentimental reel, childhood photos, sweet moments of the couple, something I had encouraged her to do as a gift. At first, the screen showed the expected baby pictures, happy memories. Then the video changed. Madison went pale. My brother stood frozen. The whispers started almost immediately. My parents looked horrified. Madison stammered, trying to explain, saying it was so long ago, that it was just a joke, but no one was laughing, least of all my brother. He looked at me, then to her. In the coldest voice I'd ever heard from him, he asked, "Is this who you really are?" Madison looked around, realizing there was no way out, no excuse that could erase what everyone had just seen. She burst into tears, but my brother was already stepping away from her. The reception ended abruptly. Madison left humiliated. My brother didn't say a word to me for days. Then one night he called. He sounded like he hadn't slept in days. He told me he called off the marriage. He let out a bitter laugh. "I ended things with the love of my life. Are you happy now?" He didn't wait for an answer. He hung up before I could respond. I should have felt victorious. I got my justice. But as I sat there, I couldn't help but think of my brother. Trying to process the reality of who he'd almost married, I felt empty. The past couldn't be erased. No matter what I did, I would always carry those scars. Exposing Madison didn't heal me. It didn't make me feel powerful. It just reminded me of everything I'd lost because of her. I stared at the paused video on my laptop for an hour, wondering if revenge was ever really enough, because it wasn't. It wasn't enough at all.